The History of Sindarin, Tolkien's best constructed language, in my opinion. So Sindarin, it is of course a fictional language used by the elves from Mr. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Its name, defined by itself, is Edhelim, which means something along the lines of Elvish. And oh man, what inception have I just created? By the way, in English, it's usually referred to as Grey Elvish.
But hold up, what makes it special? I'll tell you, the way it was formed by the neurons of Mr. Tolkien himself.
Now, if you had to guess, what would you say came sooner? The idea for the language or the idea for the books? Books? The biggest inspiration for Sindarin was Welsh, which one of you already pointed out. Indeed, Mr. Tolkien pretty much copied the Welsh grammatical structure. Not cool? Wait a second. Rewind. It is cool. You probably know the famous quote, "To steal ideas from one person is plagiarism, to steal from many is research," the origin of which is hard to pinpoint exactly. In fact, many Celtic languages influenced the creation of Tolkien's conlangs, as did the Old English and Old Norse. I see hate. I see hate. I see hate, yeah. Also, as I've already mentioned in this video, Mr. Tolkien created a few languages before he even hit puberty. One of the first conlangs that would lead him on a path to Sindarin was Goldogrin, or in English, Gnomish. He included it in the Book of Lost Tales, one of his first major works. There was also another language similar to Elvish even in the name. It was called Elfing.
Then he switched everything around, started using the Quenya name for Gnomish, Noldorin, but it slowly became its own freaking language. With a second grammar reconstruction by 1930, it was evolving and changing throughout the next 15 years, inspiring Mr. Tolkien's other languages and switching names.
To finally, around 1944, have it all come together. That was an achievement of great magnitude, as it's written in the Parma Eldalamberon, the Book of Elven Tongues. The changes worked on Sindarin from Common Eldarin very closely and deliberately resemble those which produced the modern and medieval Welsh from ancient Celtic, so that in the result, Sindarin has a marked Welsh style, and the relations between it and Quenya closely resemble those between Welsh and Latin.
The feel of his languages was very important to Mr. Tolkien. After all, he was driven by passion. He was a revolutionary when it came to languages, of course.
Now, Sindarin has some dedicated fans. Tolkien didn't publish that much Elvish, only a few hundred words, but still, early 70s, let's freaking deconstruct it and learn it in all its freaking glory. Names, tattoos, poems. The use of Sindarin rose along with the rise of pop culture and later, the internet. However, and it's a big however, even I thought that Mr. Tolkien intended his constructed languages to be learnable, but apparently he didn't. So, for the Lord of the Rings movies by Peter Jackson or some new dictionaries, turns out a lot of it was made up after he passed away. I mean, still, Mr. Tolkien loved his Grey Elvish creation and didn't slack up on placing it in his stories. So, we had a pretty good base. Internally, Sindarin has quite a few dialects. For example, Doriathrin, Falathrin, North Sindarin, Noldorin Sindarin, and Beleriandic. The last one of these was influenced by Western Sindarin and Doriathrin and became a lingua franca for many elves and men. Now, after so many years, we can truly investigate which languages inspired Sindarin the most. So, once again, Welsh for grammar, Celtic, especially Brittonic languages, consonant mutations, Germanic, Old English and Old Norse, the feel of the words, as he studied these ways of speech. It seems apt that Quenya, the language of lore, had been devised when Tolkien was an undergraduate and a soldier in training, whereas Gnomish, so Sindarin, the language of adventure, tragedy and war, should emerge after Tolkien's experiences in the Somme. Somme was a World War I battle, by the way.
Alright, hope that clears some confusion for you. Now, thanks to Wikipedia and the Lord of the Rings fandom for sponsoring, no, let's not call that, providing a lot of information. Couldn't have done it without you guys. If you want to see more, you can subscribe or just watch more videos. I've already made some. Thanks.